It's embarrassing. Anyways, masking. So I've promised I'm going to start trying my best to ignore comments. But, oh my gosh, there's that but, right? There's the but. But I've been thinking about this one for a couple of weeks. I haven't been filming. I've been taking time off. That's why I've only been posting 2 videos a week. This one I actually wanted to address, mostly because it got me thinking a lot about how I've changed since I got my diagnosis. And it was just so perfectly timed. That's why I wanted to talk about it today. Mostly because the main reason that this comment, which was not a very nice comment, upset me, was because it was from somebody who had been nice for a while, but also because it was very mean. And one of the things, it just said a lot of things about like being a hot mess and all this sort of stuff, and that I'd gone downhill for like a year. It happened to come on though, very, very close, within a week of the 1-year anniversary of me being diagnosed, which really got me thinking. And that's what I want to talk about today. In the beginning, when I started our channel, I wasn't planning on having an autism channel. It wasn't something I even thought about or imagined doing. Maggie was in so much therapy at that point that our lives did sort of revolve around therapy, because it was 5 days a week, it was all day long, I was constantly driving, picking up and going. The channel's focus was sort of aimless, which I guess is where a lot of channels start out. And when I watch our old videos now, I find myself cringing really hard because I'm masking so much. And that's not to say that I don't mask now, because I do, because it's not really like masking is something that I control. I think a lot of times people get really confused about that, about what masking is when you're autistic. I think they have this picture from hearing about masking with certain mental illnesses, and I'm not here to throw any mental illnesses under the bus, because I mean, I have depression and anxiety, and I've been open about that. But usually when you hear about masking, it's some sinister thing where someone's trying to hide who they are in some bad way. With autism, with people who are autistic, it's not like that. It's not this intentional thing. Self-preservation, from both what I've heard other people say and just also from my personal experience, it's not a very conscious thing. It's a survival thing, trying to figure out how you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to survive, how you're supposed to interact. For me, it was always like, almost like learning a second language, but it was your first language, but it didn't come naturally. Like the words were there. Language came easily to me. It was like knowing all the words, but not knowing how they were supposed to go, and just having to watch extra carefully to know how they were supposed to go together to make it go smooth. And when I was little, the stakes weren't as high. Once I got like high school age, the stakes got way higher. And then as you get older, we don't always need personal experiences. It becomes more of a safety issue, and masking becomes about staying safe, because if you don't, it can be really dangerous. You can get hurt. It's not about fooling people into thinking you're something that you're not, even though I guess it kind of seems that way. It's about staying safe, because it's not safe to be different in this way. People can single you out pretty quickly. It's a dangerous situation to be in. The number of autistics with PTSD is extraordinarily high. The number of autistics that are abused is extraordinarily high. Any sort of bad, violent statistic that you can think of, it's gonna be high. It's why we learn to mask. So that's the why behind masking. Now, since my diagnosis, I tried less hard. It's something I've been trying to shake off since college. I think college for me was like peak masking. College for me was when I was like trying to be actually outgoing. People thought I was extroverted, and I am like the farthest thing from extroverted ever. I'm super introverted and shy. Those aren't the same thing, but I'm both. Paul says he's introverted, but being a very introverted introvert, I do not necessarily feel that he is actually introverted. He's like at the line of introverted and extroverted. I'm like way over here. So he's like, he feels extroverted to me as a true introvert. I do not understand the quacking out there. But anyways, since this whole thing, the comment was about being a hot mess and going downhill for the last year, which I mean, car down the harness. It has been. Car down the harness, car down the harness. We are going on basically a year of uninterrupted scripting in my house. We are 2 weeks shy of a year in quarantine right now. And our family has done this. We have been in lockdown. Paul goes to work, but the rest of us have stayed home. Again, if you're new here, if you haven't been along for the ride the whole time, Sadie had a cold in 4th grade, so 2 years ago, and that cold resulted in a collapsed lung. I've been hospitalized twice with mild infectious diseases, and I had pneumonia earlier this year from a cold/fever. I don't know. It wasn't coronavirus. We decided to be extra careful. 4 of us have asthma. So yeah, we decided we were going to be cautious and ride this thing out and see if we could avoid getting it, because we'd rather not. So the kids stayed home and we've just been in here. It has not always been fun. Like in the beginning, I mean, not like it was supposed to be fun, staying holed up in a pandemic, but we're kind of in an area where we walked by when Sadie and I went on a walk at night one night. All the restaurants were full of people, no one's wearing a mask, no one's distancing. I mean, the whole building is just full of people, no one masked. Here, you're actually supposed to. I know maybe in other countries you're not, but here that was still when numbers were climbing. A lot of people just don't believe in it at all, that it's real, which is whatever, I guess. It kind of feels like it's been a roller coaster. At the beginning, we've been so busy and overscheduled before with everything, it kind of felt a little bit like a vacation. Not that it was. I mean, we knew horrible things were happening. People were dying. It wasn't a vacation, obviously. But just to be able to stay home and be together, it made it not that bad through summer. But then when school started, I definitely hit the wall, and it was a struggle. Definitely now that it's been February and it's been negative degrees, whatever, Fahrenheit, it's been back to kind of struggle again because we're all stuck inside and kids don't really want to go outside when it's that cold, and everyone's been going a little bit stir crazy. I'm hoping that kind of we'll get back to normal. How'd that get into masking? I don't know. I think it's because it's the whole pandemic. Yeah, that's how it came up. It was kind of the whole hot mess of a year. I don't think we've done horrendously for a year of lockdown. I've gone from a size 14 to a size 6. I've lost 30 pounds. But I'm always kind of on an up and down roller coaster. Sometimes I felt really good, and I was getting more depressed for a while there. And I talked to my doctor. That was, December. And he adjusted my meds, and it's gotten better. People wonder about my hair. I know. I liked having fun with the colors, and I did probably overdo it with the bleach. I don't think I was dyeing it as much as people thought I was, though. I just like having fun with colors, and those colors were semi-permanent. I did not dye it more than 5 weeks together. I don't always edit my videos in order. Well, they were 5 weeks apart. Sometimes it wouldn't look that way because of the way I edit. So I think people thought I was dyeing my hair every single day, and that never happened. However, because semi-permanent dye comes out when I wash it, after I'd wash it a week, it might go from green to much lighter. And I think there was some confusion there too, because I know there was. Because I was getting comments about dyeing it every day. I only dye it every 5 weeks. I don't think that's that unusual. But bleaching it a lot was kind of why I decided just to cut it off and start over and dye it back dark. And I'm not really sure why I'm explaining this. Yeah, I just like doing stuff to my hair sometimes. And yes, sometimes I do hack it off when I'm depressed, but to make sure that wasn't this, I waited over a month before I cut it all off, just to completely make sure that wasn't what this actually was. All the urgent questions anyone could want to know. All your burning questions answered. Not really. Probably the main reason I answered that question about being a hot mess, which I may be anyway. I probably am. If you haven't known I'm a hot mess since the very first video, then maybe you haven't been paying attention, because I'm probably just always been since college. Maybe not the hot part, but a mess. Definitely a chaotic mess. I think that's the ADHD. My college roommate could tell you a story about a Snickers bar that I accidentally fell asleep not eating, and it dropped under the bed, and there was a line of ants going under it to it the next day. And I will blame that solely on the ADHD for the rest of my life. I'm not that messy now, thank goodness. That was definitely a low point that is much lower than any point I think I've ever been since. I was just compared to that Snickers bar moment. Oh, that poor girl. I always want to send her pictures of the house now and be like, see, I got better. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry you had to live with me when I was that messy. So sorry. It's embarrassing. Anyways, masking. This was supposed to be about masking. ADHD is hard sometimes. So hard. Anyways, yeah, I better go. Maggie needs me. So that's it for today. Oh my gosh, if you like this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up, and if you're interested in all things autism, we'd love it if you hit subscribe. And gas donut harness? Are you saying... What? And I'll see you tomorrow. I'm not sure what that was. It's supposed to be car donut harnesses, it's script. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.